Aloha again, and good afternoon, everyone. It is Thursday, March 12, 2026. The time is 1:21 p.m. Will the Committee on Budget please again come to order? With us in the chamber, we have Chair Waters. Thank you for being here with us. Councilmember Tolba, Councilmember Cordero, Councilmember Kiaina, and Councilmember Tupola. Members, we will continue with our agenda. Next on the agenda is from the Department of Environmental Services. Thank you so much for being here. For your information, this presentation is available online as Departmental Communications 191-2026. Joining us from the Department of Environmental Services is Director Roger Babcock, as well as his Deputy Director, Daniel Breek. I just want to welcome to the chamber Councilmember Dos Santos Tam. Aloha and good afternoon, Director Babcock.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Committee Chair Okamoto, Chair Waters, and Council members. Roger Babcock, Director of Department of Environmental Services. Did want to introduce the folks that are with me today. Dan Brick, as was mentioned, Deputy Director. I got Raylyn Nakabayashi, as our Executive Assistant. I have Lynette Smith, Head of our Financial Services. She's back there. And Lisa Kimura. She's branch chief of our CIP long-range planning branch. So we're here representing 1,180 other people who, in 6 divisions, who are public servants that take care of the city and county's waste. That includes liquid waste and solid waste. So rain or shine, 24/7, 365. That's what we're doing, is taking care of those things. And to give you an idea of how much waste that is, there's 100 million gallons of sewage a day that we treat at the 9 treatment plants. After it goes through the 2,000 miles of pipelines and the 71 pump stations. In addition, there are 2 million tons of refuse that we collect every day. There's another 2 million that's collected by private haulers that comes to us, and we have to handle all of that and process it. To give you some perspective, this chamber, the volume is about 80,000 cubic feet. And so the amount of wastewater we treat every day would fill this room 150 times every day. And the amount of rubbish that's collected would fill this entire space 15 times every day. Okay, so luckily it's not filling this room now, but that is the amount of material that we handle every day. I just want to mention before we get started a couple of big things that are going on at the beginning of FY26 so far. We did recently complete the Kailua UV disinfection project, which is very important out there. That was an $11 million project. We're also happy to announce that the phase 1 of the Sand Island wastewater treatment plant secondary upgrade, that's a membrane bioreactor. The construction is finished and it is in startup mode right now. That's a $461 million project. We recently did a 1-day recruitment for wastewater operators where we have 25 openings. We did kind of a lot of advertising, and we said we would cut off the applications after we got 200. And it opened up on a Sunday morning. Within 3 hours, we had the 200 applicants. And next week, we'll be interviewing 195 people over a 3-day period to fill those positions. I also just want to announce that we had completed a little bit while ago an upgrade to our UV disinfection system at Sand Island Treatment Plant. We just finally got our rebate from Hawaiian Electric Company for $1.3 million for completing that energy-saving project. Okay, so now I'll be happy to answer questions about those things or anything else later as well. So we'll go ahead and get started with the presentation then. So the first page here, first slide shows the operating budget for the entire department. That includes, this is a total of sewer and refuse. So you see the total operating budget is $464.9 million. That is an increase of 6% overall. If you want the breakdown between sewer and solid waste, I'll be happy to give that to you later or whenever you want. Next slide is the FY27 budget issues. There's a couple there three for refuse. We did add a senior account clerk. That helps with our business accounts branch for the billing of on the refuse side. We have three new customer CSRs, customer service representatives, that support the appointment-based bulky item collection program. And we do have a program that we've been working on getting going for quite a while, and that is to pilot the changeover of our refuse trucks from non-zero emission diesel trucks to zero emission vehicles. So we'll be leasing 5 electric vehicle side loader trucks and trying them on various routes, as well as the charging infrastructure as a part of a lease. And then under wastewater, on the Office of Administrative Support, we do have 10 new customer service representatives to help with our sewer billing issues. Next slide. New programs. So happy to announce some new programs for that are FY27. Actually, the first one there, the GROW program, is starting now. Before the beginning of FY27. It's really starting April 1st, but a lot of work has already been done. And that's our GROW program. The green recycling of organic waste is what GROW means. The pilot is beginning April 1st, and we're going to be collecting food waste in the green compost cart. So this includes food scraps from residential homes, and these account for about 60,000 tons of refuse on Oahu that end up in the green carts now, currently. And we're hoping to divert up to that amount. Sorry, I misspoke. We're hoping to get the 60,000 tons out of the 90,000 tons total of food scraps that are in the waste stream. So you might have heard, there's been quite a bit of advertising. The taglines are include the food, and if it grows, it goes. So there are mailers going out to the communities that are, it's a pilot first. There's 5 communities beginning in April 1st, and then beginning in approximately October, it'll be the entire island. And so those of us who live in that region recently got a mailer. Mine came yesterday, and it tells you what you can and can't put into the green composting cart. So that is a program that's required by ordinance for us to do, is to do this curbside collection of food waste. And it's been kind of a long time in the making, but it is happening now. The next slide is the new programs within wastewater. A couple things to highlight here, and these are also one of them has already started underway, and that's the water conservation rebates. So beginning on January 1st, since then we've been teaming up with the Board of Water Supply to double the rebates for certain items that save water and decrease the amount of sewage that people produce. So we doubled the toilet rebates from $100 to $200, and we doubled the clothes washer rebate from $75 to $150, and we doubled the sub-meters from 200 to 400. And the results are that just in the first 2 months of the year, there's been a 37% increase in program participation. What that means is that there were 354 toilets and 210 clothes washers and 4 smart meters. This cost the department our share about $50,000, and over the year, per year, these devices, just those ones that I mentioned there, will reduce volume by 1.7 million gallons. So it's a good program. The next thing to mention is CARES, our CARES program. That stands for Customer Assistance for Residential Environmental Services. That is the low-income customer assistance program for sewer fees. We're going to be ready to launch that in May to begin taking applications and giving credits. So if you remember, the qualifications for that are 80% of AMI or less as household income, you're eligible for a $20 per month credit. It'll be given as a single $240 credit for the year, and it will be worked off of the bill beginning as soon as they qualify. A couple other new programs is a sewer and water bill separation project with Board of Water Supply. I can answer questions about that later if you want. And we're also starting an engineer training program to try and recruit and retain more engineers. And I can, again, answer questions about that later if you have them. Okay, next slide shows vacancies. As of the snapshot on February 1st, we had 292 vacancies. That's a 25% vacancy rate for us. There are some positions that have been filled since then. The total vacancies as of end of February was 279. We, with the hiring, including that one-day hiring I mentioned for wastewater operators and other things, we will be filling another 43 positions by the end of the fiscal year, by end of June, leaving us with 236, down to 20% vacancy. And our plan for that's still FY26. So for FY27, we're planning to reduce by another 46 and get down to 16% vacancies. Next slide. Next two slides are about overtime. And so the overtime amounts are shown there that are budgeted for regular overtime and holiday overtime. And they're broken out by the sewer operations and the refuse operations. And you see most of it, the larger amount is in refuse operations. The next slide shows it broken down by the different divisions in both dollars and hours. If you have questions about that, I can answer them. It is overall, that's $13.7 million budgeted for overtime, and that is based on recent years. And overall, it represents about 12% of our salary costs. Okay, so we're going to move on then to revenues. First, solid waste revenues, and then wastewater revenues. Solid waste revenues total $139 million. That composed of tip fees from at H-Power, as well as at the landfill. So $138.5 million. And the next is sewer revenues. So sewer revenues are, the largest component is the sewer service charges. And you see they're up, they're projected to be up a little bit because of the sewer fee increase. Then there's the system facility charges, investment interest from the sewer fund, sewer cash fund. And so the total estimated revenue is $541 million. So combined between the two programs, it is $680 million in revenues. Okay. The other thing the next slide is about federal funds. We do get federal funds in the form of loans from what's known as a state revolving fund. There are two state revolving funds. There's a clean water state revolving fund, which is where we get wastewater funded, and then there's a drinking water state revolving fund where BWS gets funds. What is shown is projects that will get funding in FY27. It shows the project cost as well as the amount that the column on the far right shows how much we've gotten from SRF funds as part of those projects. It also shows forgiveness. So even though these are loans, we do have to pay them back. They come with a 0.25% interest rate, so only 1/4%, and they also have a loan fee of 0.5%, 1/2 of 1%. So together it's only 0.75%. But they have a forgiveness program, so they generally forgive those fees. So they end up being zero interest loans. So it's very good, so we get as much of that as we can. It shows on there that our outstanding loan balance from this program is $376 million. So it's been a very good program for us, and it continues to be so. The next slide shows CIP spending, broken up by the solid waste fund and the sewer activities. So on solid waste, this is all bond funded. This is the general obligation bonds that the city sells. 106 million in the program for FY27. For comparison, FY26, the current fiscal year is 50 million, 50. For the sewer CIP program, what's projected for FY27 is 348 million. That is funded by a combination of revenue bonds, as shown there, 78 million. So that's the bond funded portion. And then the cash funded portion is the sewer fund, so 270 million. So most of it's funded by cash, and a portion is funded by bonds in the coming year. For reference, the current fiscal year FY26 budget, the sewer CIP is 425 million. Another number of interest while we're on this slide is the debt service. So we do pay debt service on the sewer fund portion out of our budget. And if you combine the debt service on the sewer revenue bonds and the SRF that was on the previous slide together, the budget is we pay 217.6 million each per year in FY27 for debt service on the outstanding debt. And the reason for that is that I mentioned the outstanding debt for the SRF. The outstanding debt on the sewer revenue bonds is 2.65 billion. Okay, so we can move on then now to the CIP program, the actual projects. So the first one, we'll go through solid waste first. This is in the order that's in your budget book. This includes the various solid waste projects. Here we show 6 projects. There are 2 slides. There's a couple more on the next slide. There are 6 projects here. So we can see various transfer stations. There's the landfill, and the H-Power projects. And I'll be happy to answer questions about all of these when you're ready. And then the next slide shows a couple of more. One is another landfill designated thing, and then we have the another convenience center, Waipahu Convenience Center. So the total there is the 106 million. The next several slides are on the wastewater CIP program. And so this is in alphabetical order. That is the way it is in the ordinance and in your budget book as well. This slide has 1 pre-treatment facility project, 2 forest main projects, 1 pump station project, 1 wastewater facilities project, and 1 combination pump station and wastewater treatment project. So just to explain these slides, I should have done that sooner. It does show the FY27 budgeted amount towards these projects, and it also shows the phase of work. So it could be land, planning, design, construction, or inspection. And so whichever letters are there, activity is happening in every letter that's shown there, but only those letters. And if there are more than 1 letter, one of them is in bold, that means that most of the money is in that phase. The final column also shows the source of funds. In this case, SW means cash. SR would mean revenue bonds. So you can see on this first page, they're all cash-funded projects in this year. But again, these are the 27 amounts for these projects, not necessarily the total amount for these projects. All the projects generally would appear in multiple years. And again, that is on the fact sheets in the back of the budget book, volume 2. Shows you the 6-year, what happens over the whole 6 years. The next slide shows some more projects, starting with Halava. And going down through some Honolulu projects, there are 2 force main projects, 1 pump station project, 1 collection system project, and 2 wastewater treatment plant projects. And there is one there in the middle that you can see, the Hei'a Wastewater Pump Station Improvement Projects, which has split funding. It's using some bonds and some cash. But all the other ones are either one or the other. Next slide is more projects. There is 1 facility plan, 3 treatment plant projects, 1 collection system project, and 1 force main project. And as you see here also, most of these are funded by cash, but 1 is bond funded. Next slide is more projects. And we have here 2 facilities plan, 1 pump station force main and system improvement, and 2 treatment plant projects. And we'll keep going. Another page of projects here is includes 3 collection system projects, 1 island-wide sewer main line and lateral project, 1 pump station project, and 1 treatment plant project. Okay, and maybe to almost the last one here. I think this is the last one. This includes 1 collection system project, 3 wastewater treatment facility projects, 1 force main project, and 1 facility plan. And you can see most of these are funded by cash as well. Okay, so here's the last wastewater CIP project page. Here there are 2 pump station projects, 1 island-wide treatment plant pump station force main improvement project, 1 island-wide equipment replacement project. So the total, and then it shows the total there of all the projects that are receiving FY27 funding is $348.4 million. All together, from all the slides we just saw, there are 7 collection system projects, 28 treatment plant, pump station, and force main projects, 4 facilities plan, 1 wastewater equipment, and 1 wastewater facility replacement reserve project receiving funding. The final few slides here just show which districts have projects. There are several districts in Councilmember Tupola's District 1 there's refuse projects because H-Power is there in that area, and then there are a lot of wastewater projects because Honolulu is in that district. Next slide shows there are none in Councilmember Wyer's District 2, but there are projects in District 3, Councilmember Kia'aina's district, both at the Hei'a Wastewater Pump Station and the refuse facility, the Kapa'a Transfer Station. In District, there aren't any projects in districts, in Waters and Nishimoto Districts 4 and 5, but there are projects in District 6 for Councilmember Dos Santos Tam's district. There's Abbott Street Pump Station and Ala Moana Force Main project. District 7, Councilmember Cordero, there are some projects there, especially at Sand Island Treatment Plant is in your district, and the Halava Wastewater Pump Station Force Main project is there. And then finally, there aren't any projects in Chair Okamoto's district, but there are in District 9, Councilmember Tolbo's district, with the West Lock Estates wastewater pump station upgrades. So that is my last slide, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Director Babcock. Members, before I forget, I'd like to welcome, joining us in the chamber, Committee Vice Chair Nishimoto. And this round, members, will start off our first questioning with Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you, Chair Okimoto. With your indulgence, I do want to welcome members from our sister city, from Chigasaki in Japan.
So.
I would like to welcome our Chair, Masaaki Kishi. I don't know. Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, and then as well as Councilmember Yumi Hasegawa. So thank you very much. And just if anyone else is from Chigasaki, please give us a shaka. Thank you.
Thank
And thank you,
you.
Chair, for
Thank you, Councilmember Cordero.
letting me do that.
Aloha and welcome.
Thank you. And in Chigasaki, we were able to see myself, Chair Waters, as well as our council floor leader, their smaller solid waste disposal truck as well. That was pretty cool. Moving forward, I do have some questions. First, for the funding for bulky items in this current system, how has there been savings for the current bulky items pickup for this process versus how it was prior? And I know it's probably reflected like throughout multiple fiscal years before, but how much is it saving or maybe not saving the department?
Yeah, thank you for that question. You know, I'll have to get back to you on that. We'll have to find out. We can get some real numbers. It's much more efficient to do the appointment-based system, and it's been very successful. It is very efficient, so we only go out to those that have appointments, and there are appointments always available. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit, but it's always possible to get them. And that program is running very well, but we can try and get you some numbers for the savings, but I'm quite sure there is a savings.
Thank you. I know that this question has come up within our Moanalua Gardens and Moanalua Valley communities, just for an update about that, and especially one of my district senators, Senator Donna Mercado Kim, just letting you know that I do need those numbers. Okay, next, I do have a question relating to the pilot for GROW, and I know that it only is in 5 communities, but will that also be extended in the future for those food scraps to be then collected at transfer stations?
Yeah, so right now the plan is that we'll be rolling it out to all the rest of the communities that have residential curbside collection in October. Right now, food waste and food scraps would not be accepted at transfer stations or convenience centers. But that could change in the future. But right now we're going to focus on the residential curbside collection and get that program going and figure out what the practice is and what people do and don't and what sort of education is needed. And then we can expand, we can always expand the program based on what we find and what people want, yeah.
Thank you. I do recall for the past decade or so that the Ava Street wastewater pump or project has been going on, and that's still a lot of money for the project. And I was wondering, because I feel like it has been going on for a while, like is this going to be a continuous capital project? The Ava, it's not in my district anymore, but it used to be, so I just wanted to follow up about that.
Yeah, sir, we'll have to get you an update on that. We
Okay.
could check our notes. I know that it is, yeah, we'll have to check on the status of, what the percent complete is in that. It is in construction, and I can get you an update on that.
Okay, thank you. And then for Sand Island wastewater treatment plant, I know it's a huge project, and I know it's a huge need and serves like whole chunk of the island. And I know that it's going to be a lot of movement for a lot of the areas in and around Sand Island, including Halemaliola, Matson, and all of that. So just so that there's a cohesive plan in the area, I just want to ensure that, I guess, we're planning properly for that so that everything that needs to be moved, even infrastructure-wise, is planned for and budgeted for in the next years, because we don't want to be doing the catch-up later for that.
Yeah, thank you for that comment. So that is, you're absolutely right. That's a really important part of the project, to make sure that it's not disruptive. So the ongoing projects that are there are on the property of the treatment plant only, essentially. And there'll be some use of some adjacent land for construction, staging, and laydown area, but it shouldn't impact anything. It's adjacent property. So, but all the projects are very key in on that, and if roads need to be closed or whatever, there's permits and stuff required associated with that, and you try to do that in the most efficient way possible.
Thank you. And I'm glad it's going to be contained on the property. I know that I just was surprised when one of the departments yesterday mentioned that Mauliola would have to look for another area because of the project, and I thought it was like just taking over the area. But anyway, I'll find out more about that. I know we can discuss that more, but I just know that if this project expands and then it will add more funding or planning funds necessary for the other department who then oversees that contract of Hale Mauliola and Institute for Human Services. So I just wanted to note that.
Yeah, no, thank you. Now I understand what you're talking about, right? So there is some movement needed, because we're trying to get the piece of property that's adjacent, but it's used for something else right now, and we're working with HDOT, which is control of all the properties, to see where things can be moved around to facilitate the project. But that is very important. We very much understand that.
Thank you.
And working with them on that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's a domino effect with that. So I understand it. Kind of concerned about it, but hopefully we can keep up with it, keep in contact about that. I know I have a lot more things, but I know that the other members will have even better questions than I can ever think of. So I'll yield my time, Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Cordero. Vice Chair Tupola.
Thank you. Aloha, Director. Thank you for being here.
Aloha.
I'll start on page 3. For the $1.5 million in the pilot project to lease 5 EV side loaders and charger infrastructure, what division is this for?
This is in our refuse division.
So you guys are going to be doing EV trucks?
Trucks, yes. Side loader trucks that do the curbside collection in residential neighborhoods.
Oh, okay. And the EV, the 1.5 million is for the chargers and the trucks so that you guys can see like the efficiency of it?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lease operation. They install and maintain the chargers and provide the trucks. And then we use them, and we're going to try them on different routes and different, some routes are flat, some have hills, some are longer than others. Some take more trips back and forth to H Power. So we need to figure out how to build out the program. So
yeah, do you think that this will save us money somehow by using the EV trucks as opposed to what we have now?
Yeah, so we're not sure yet what the difference would be in cost. The trucks are more expensive to buy. They are similar to lease, but we actually don't know yet what the overall cost would be. But the city does have a directive to, and I don't know the directive number, but to convert all the city fleet to zero-emission vehicles by 2035. There is an exception for heavy-duty vehicles. So the light-duty vehicles, the various departments are working on that and trying to get EVs for all the light-duty vehicles. But ultimately, something would need to be done about the heavy-duty vehicles as well. So this is our effort to try to figure out what that would look like and what it would cost going forward. And so we're starting with a small amount. We have over 200 vehicles. This is only 5. So we need to kind of try and figure out and learn how feasible it is and what it's going to cost.
Yeah, no, I like that you guys are starting small. I was bringing this up because when I did visit Spain, they actually did use their refuse to fuel their vehicles in Granada. So the actual trucks were burning the fuel that they made from the trash. Would you guys be interested in starting a pilot with a few trucks that did that? Have we looked into that? I mean, I know we generate tons of trash, so I'm pretty sure we would have enough fuel to make.
Yeah, so that's good. That's a good one. So basically, refuse trucks, ours use diesel, and that's the most common fuel for trucks. The other one would be natural gas. So you can make renewable natural gas, and that's what they're doing in that landfill case. So they're basically making methane, they're purifying it, and they're using it to run a refuse truck that runs on compressed natural gas, which is a fuel that's been available for a long time. and then it does make that a renewable fuel. It's not zero emission, but it is renewable. We do make methane at wastewater treatment plants.
Right.
And there's some made at the landfills as well that can be recovered and made into, and used as a fuel, which we are in the process of doing at the Honolulu treatment plant, and the Sandown upgrade also includes that, but that's still in the future. So that fuel can either be used to run refuse trucks, for example, and other fleet vehicles. Other cities use them for buses and stuff, compressed natural gas
Yes.
buses. Or it can be used to make electricity.
Right.
And so you have those options. And at one point we were looking at trying to do something with perhaps with compressed natural gas. The challenge is that there are no fueling stations today on the island in Hawaii at all for compressed natural gas vehicles. So there are none. And so to bring them in, we would have to build a fueling facility of our own too, which is basically a compressor. So a series of very expensive compressors and storage tanks that in order to put the compressed natural gas in order to use one of these vehicles. And so it's a little bit more difficult thing to pilot than the EVs because you'd have to build infrastructure that doesn't exist. But it is still something very interesting, and I agree with that's interesting.
Well, maybe we can look into it later, but I appreciate your very thorough answer. The next question I have is about the GROW program. You guys already presented, so I don't have any questions about how it's going to be administered, but for the pilot, how will you be measuring so that we can understand the success or the challenges in the program, and when will you be reporting to us those successes and challenges so that we can kind of conclude whether or not, we continue to invest or maybe we pivot into some new directions? It was a question that Councilmember Toba asked, like, what if it doesn't work? So what will be the measurement metrics and when will you come and report?
Yeah, so we have an extensive measurement program set up especially during the pilot period. So we, all the time, even without this program, we have refuse inspectors, on staff that are going and looking in cans every day for checking for compliance and checking for people who are trying to get additional carts at their house. You have to qualify by making sure you have not enough space, and so we'll be looking in cans throughout the pilot area during the next 6 months. I'm not sure when we'll be reporting back on what we've learned, but we will be along the way tailoring sort of our messaging and our training to try and improve practices, primarily to keep out contamination, things that are not supposed to be in there, but also trying to encourage people, hearing back from them what they like and don't like and what works for them and what doesn't work for them. And I think it'll be a learning process. But I think we're excited about it. We want people to be excited about it and participate and realize that it's important, right? We showed you the amount of tons, right? If we can get that into the compost instead of going to H-Power in the landfill, that's really good. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, thank you, Director. I'm going to try to get you to summarize the answers, only because I know a lot of other people have questions besides me, and I have like maybe 8 more to go.
Okay.
So I'll send you an email because I do want the specificity of what are we measuring so that we know what's coming back and then when the report will happen. But like you said, you guys are still deducing that. I think looking in people's cans is not a measurement. I need to know like how many people are participating, how much pounds were collected, what obstacles did we overcome, how much did we invest versus how much was the ROI. But we can talk about that later.
Yeah. We will be doing all that. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to get a list from you. The next question I have is, when is the sewer bill separation happening? Just a date.
The date is not for sure yet, but it's probably, is it next year? Next July? July 27? I think July 2027.
Okay, so barely within this period, because you listed it down, so I thought it was happening soon, but more likely than not next year. Okay.
Yeah, it could be during FY27, but it may not be till the end. Yeah.
Okay. The next page I had questions about was the vacancies. I mean, this is probably the highest number we've seen so far. And I do believe for FY25, you guys will be lapsing 55.4 million because of the amount of vacancies. And it does look like you guys are trying to fill some, and there might be some that are filled within this year. So with that amount of money that's being lapsed for the vacancies, where do you see as the director that we could have some more cost savings, especially because we discussed the sewer increase some years back? You know, where can we be better budgeting, especially knowing that that amount of money is going to get lapsed?
Let's see. So you're asking about whether, how we could lapse less or?
Well, so HPD has the same issue, right? Tons of vacancies equal lots of leftover money, but it's only in one spending category, which would be salaries. So you can only do so much with that, right? You have a ton of different categories that you're spending in. So where do you see that lapse money being better used instead of just lapsing it that could potentially help us to bring down rates or, you know, help our constituents? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, so I mean, I guess one way to look at it is when you exclude things, when you exclude salary, that's because we have vacancies, right? The other lapsing is essentially being frugal in our spending and spending less than what we've budgeted. Partly that's intentional, trying to do the best we can to spend wisely. Part of that is when certain contracts perhaps don't come to fruition during the fiscal year, and various things like that, where money doesn't get spent. But with respect to the sewer fund and sewer fees and savings, that lapsing isn't really, the money doesn't go away, stays in the sewer fund. It can't be reallocated for anything else. So the money will be spent on those projects, the numerous projects we listed today, as well as all the other projects in the 6-year CIP and the next 15-year CIP. All the money will be needed at that time. So any money that is saved by being frugal and not spending it means smaller sewer fee increases in the future.
Okay, understood. I do think that in the realm of budgeting, we know that the money will be used later, but from year to year, we're trying to get it as close as possible to the actual numbers so that we can be as fiscally responsible. I think the last couple questions I had was in regards to the 30 million that you put aside for the Oahu sanitary landfill. So on this line, is this 30 million because you guys thought you were going to buy land, or because it's bold L underlined L? Is L land acquisition? I mean, I know D and C maybe is design and construction.
Yes, L is land. So that money is for purchase of a new land for landfill, for a new landfill.
But you guys just went out to the public saying that you guys are going to expand the Waimanalo Gulch. So where are you guys going to spend the 30 million?
So the proposal is for land adjacent to the landfill, right next door. Makaiva Gulch.
Oh, I did not know that.
So it is, so there's 30, in a 6-year CIP, you'll see that there's 30 million budgeted in FY27 and another 25 million in FY28 for that purchase.
Wait. So we were told that the expansion of the Waimanalo Gulch was because there are more years that we can use the current land we have for landfilling. We were told that in 2028, the EPA said that the Waimanalo Gulch has to be closed because of the overflow of trash into the ocean, but yet there were more years of life left in that landfill. Is that not true?
There are more years left in the landfill. So at the current fill rate, the landfill would not reach capacity until sometime in 2031. The current operating permit ends in March 2nd of 2028, 2 years from now. So there is some extra capacity there, and so an extension of the permit is needed in order to use up that capacity.
So you guys don't have to go to the State Land Use Commission in regards to purchasing this land next to Waimanalo Gulch that you just said in Makaiva Hills? Or you guys?
So the Land Use Commission, we do have to go to Land Use Commission to extend the permit for the current landfill and/or to expand it, which is a different thing. But to answer the question about the adjacent property, we do have to go to the Land Use Commission, first the Planning Commission, then the Land Use Commission, in order to get an operating permit for any new expansion.
So this money is being put in for this year, and you think that you guys can get all of that done within this year and expend $30 million?
So the money for land is for purchase.
Understood, but
Yeah, and you don't have to have permits to do purchase.
so you guys would purchase it prior to the permits, hoping that we would get the permits, and then the land would be used for the landfill.
Yeah, that's correct. So the sequence for this kind of thing would be that we have to purchase land and then go through a long process of many things, environmental impact statement, could be district boundary amendments about zoning on the land. We need permits of many different kinds. We need a solid waste permit, an air permit, as well as a use permit, and in this case, a special use permit. So all of those things will take at least 6 years, 6 to 7 years, perhaps longer, in order to, before you can actually be in operation.
I think that that's crazy to put down that amount of money for the land and then let it sit and then hope that all of those permits come through, especially because this current administration will be done already. And moreover, we were told that if there was ever going to be sited another landfill, that it would never be on the west side. And then boom, surprise, it's one line in a million of lines that really, this is like not what we discussed. Like we were all told that it was going to be somewhere else. And then when it didn't work out in Wahiwa, it was okay, we got to currently expand it. I'm disappointed. I really am, because I really felt like the whole point of us these past couple years and looking and searching was to fulfill the promise that was made that they would take it out, right? It was supposed to be done in 2028. In fact, it was actually promised in 1990 that they were going to close the Waimanalo Gulch. I know this is beyond your scope, Director, so I will let that be. I'm just disappointed. In regards to the H-Power expansion, the 31 million and the 25 million, can you tell me what those line items are going to purchase or cover?
Yeah, so H-Power requires various improvements. There are actually 3 different funds associated with H-Power. Let's see, so the one that's here is, there's 2 here, 31 million and 25 million. So there's improvements, and the expansion one, okay, so right. So you see it's got the L and
Yes.
the P. So this is for purchasing of the land next door to H-Power,
Yeah, I
where
know which one it
the
is.
old AES coal plant was, and that's now been demolished. So the plan is to purchase that land for a recycling campus and potential H-Power expansion. The other intended uses would be C&D waste, which is currently at PBT in Nanakuli, and various other recycling activities, including a material recovery facility for the C&D waste processing and stuff like that.
Understood. What about the
Yeah.
25 million?
So 25 million is regular improvements to the existing H-Power boiler 1, 2, and 3 projects to do various refurbishment projects.
Refurbishment to the boilers.
Refurbishment, yes.
So not buying a new one, just
This is not buying a new one, no. Buying a new one, the most recent facility that just went out to bid is in Florida, and it's twice as big as H-Power, but it was $4 billion. So it's very expensive to build another H-Power.
well, I was just talking about the boiler. We have a handful, so I just thought maybe we're going to get one new one. So we're just going to continue with the ones we have and try to fix one. Is the 25 million going to fixing?
rehabilitating, fixing, keeping them running. So 2 of them are quite old, from
Yes.
1990, and those together have a capacity of about 2,000 tons a day. The newer boiler from 2012, boiler 3, is a 900 tons per day, and that's the more modern sort of version. So you would need another 2 of those to replace the old one, but that's not what's currently planned.
Is that modification worth it as opposed to buying a new boiler?
Yeah, so the plan to refurbish those so that they could last for approximately another 20 years is estimated at $250 million, instead of the replacement, which is about $1 billion, maybe, something like that.
Okay. Sorry, Chair, I just have a couple more. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm monopolizing your time here. There's one for Kahuku wastewater. I thought Kahuku has, Turtle Bay runs the wastewater out there, no?
The city has a facility at Kahuku. As well, yeah.
Oh, I see. I'm just mentioning that because you said you didn't have any CIP in Councilmember Wire's district, but there's Laie and Kahuku inside here, yeah? The 1 million for Laie.
I think on the diagram, we might only include things over a certain dollar amount.
Oh, I see.
Maybe 5 million, I'm not sure.
But I thought HRI runs all the wastewater in Laie.
Oh, I see. Yeah, sorry, I got clarification. For the diagram only shows things that are in construction phase.
Oh, and these are just planning.
Yeah.
So we do wastewater in Laie. I thought HRI does the wastewater for Laie.
No, the city does the wastewater in Laie. So we run the facility. The transfer dedication has never been completed. It was a joint city and HRI project to build the treatment plant and the collection system and all that a number of years ago. And the city took operational control of the facility many years ago also at that time when it was finished. And the city has been running it the whole time. But we do, of course, bill, the people pay sewer bill there, and it is paid to the city.
Yeah,
So.
thank you so much for your answers, Director. Thank you, Chair, for all the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilmember Tupola. Floor Leader Kia Aina.
Thank you, Director. You know, I'm very pleased by, all of the projects that you guys have been undertaking since I've been a council member. Greatly appreciate it. The UV system, knock on wood. I don't want to botchy anything with this new storm, but I'm pleased that the last storm weathered it, and we have not seen bacterial exceedance levels in Kailua Bay. So thank you so much for that. And I see a lot of the infrastructural needs in Kailua, Waimanalo, He'ea, Maunawili, and Ahui Manu. So I'm very happy. I did want to just, if you don't mind, I'm always using my time to bring up just concerns by the community. And while I raised it to you, it was raised to my attention again at the Waimanalo Neighborhood Board. Sometimes when there have been many constituents of mine, I don't know about others, where they were not adequately billed for wastewater fees, and they're just given a lump sum, like say $3,000 in the case of a constituent. And then you guys have an arrangement with BWS, and it doesn't matter who threatened, but at the end of the day, the city threatened my constituents, saying that if you don't pay the back billing, that they're going to cut off their water. So all I want to know, you guys are familiar with the issue, yeah? So all I want to know is, I want you guys to acknowledge that the city was wrong. My constituents feel that you have not acknowledged it, because I know you guys are endeavoring to work out repayment plans. I want assurances that you guys have rectified the problem and this doesn't continue to be a problem, because while many have been willing to work out a repayment plan, you guys didn't bill for 3 years. And then they get a $3,000 bill on top of what they normally have to pay. And so they just feel that there is no empathy, yeah? And so again, my only question is, I know you guys are familiar with it, I want assurances, well, first of all, acknowledge that you guys were wrong in how many of our constituents were treated. for not billing properly. Second, again, I just want assurances that you've rectified it, and I want anyone who touches the issue to be more respectful to our constituents.
Yeah, thanks, Councilmember Kiana. Yeah, I'll acknowledge that if that's not supposed to happen. We're generally quite good at customer service, and we'll of course look into that specific constituent. But in general, yes, we can absolutely be more empathetic, and we do work with folks to set up repayment plans, and we are flexible in terms of the duration of that, and we acknowledge that sometimes somehow things fall through the crack and people don't get a bill there can be various different reasons that happens, and then we do. The shut water threat is taken very seriously. We have to work with Board of Water Supply, on that, and they do the same thing if people don't pay their water bills. So it is a very serious thing, and it's not done lightly, and it is quite difficult actually to do that because it is a very important sanitation public health issue. So we will. I can assure you, we'll be empathetic.
Yes, and then maybe in how you talk to them, right? Because sometimes they say you either pay it or, before you even work out a payment plan. Her name is Esther Lafaele. Okay? I just want to let you know.
Okay.
But again, look forward to working with you on all the wastewater treatment facilities in my district. And it's been a good working relationship. And again, your public information officer, I think, has been very helpful to you. And so that's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Kiana. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Thank you, Chair. First, I wanted to start with the CARES program, which I wanted to ask and get a status update about the implementation of that.
Yeah, thank you, Council Member. So CARES program, of course, stands for Customer Assistance for Residential Environmental Services. And it is, I think you understand the basic logistics of the program. The intention is 80% AMI or less as a family, as a household income would qualify for the $20 per month credit on the sewer bill. So where we're at is, it's been kind of a long process since last spring. We went through the process of doing an RFP and requesting proposals, and we did receive proposals. And then in the end, we decided that we weren't going to go with any of those proposals due to various concerns. Instead, then we embarked on doing the program ourselves in-house. So we'll be using a model very similar to what we learned from our colleagues over in Kauai. It's a very simple program where people will apply directly to environmental services. So we're working on the application right now. Folks will submit some information, including a tax return, most recent tax return. We'll have a table. If they qualify, they will receive notice that they qualify for the credit, and then the credit would be implemented right away. The time frame would be looking at hopefully in May, because it needs to be based on the most recent tax year, so taxes are due in April. We would then, so it doesn't make any sense to have applications due before that. We're looking at a window between April and October, or May and October, because some people can file late in August. So we want to be able to capture those folks too, because you have to turn in a tax for most recent tax form, which would be for 2025. So we think we have a very simple program, and that we can handle it. And so we look forward to implementing that. We are training up, and we will be training up our CSRs, our customer service representatives, and other staff to be able to handle this. And we think that we can do it. So one thing that we haven't done yet is to do the more public information campaign, but we'll get that out in time before before this rolls out, before applications are available. We do think that once they are available, word will spread throughout the community that it's available. But as of now, we're not really sure what sort of challenges we'll have and how many folks will need help. We're sure that some folks will either not submit the right information or miss part of it or not qualify, but we are prepared to deal with that. And it's an important thing, and we're working on it right now.
Okay, so do we have a timeline for when we can expect that to be done?
So we are shooting for May of this year. That is soon.
Good. Good. With regard to the call center, for which you're asking for additional positions, is this a new program, or are we bringing an outsourced, contracted program back in-house?
Sorry, council member, which thing are you referring to?
The call center for which you're asking for the additional positions. The customer service representative.
Yeah, so the customer service representatives are for, let me see, did we write CARES on there? Let me check.
No, this appears to be a separate thing, but it could be. Slide 3.
Yes, so it is to support the CARES program and the billing separation, additional calls anticipated for bill separation.
So this is a new program.
So both are new programs, yes.
I then wanted to ask about last year's budget versus this year. Last year we authorized the issuance of over $300 million of sewer revenue bonds. Were all of those bonds purchased, and do you know what the rate was?
We might be able to pull that up really quick here.
Okay.
I think we sold close to 300 million in bonds, but we do know the exact amount. We can get it for you, and the interest rate on that. The interest rate was just over 4% at that time. So those are our tax-free sewer revenue bonds.
And then with the current interest rate environment, I see that we're proposing $78 million in sewer revenue bonds. How is the current interest rate environment affecting the overall CIP program and plans for the department?
So that's a good question, and I don't think I know the answer at this time. Normally, we would be selling bonds in about September, and so things could change a lot by then, and a decision will be made what sort of financial mechanism to use at that time. So there is some time for things to happen and change, and I think we'll be we're not buying bonds tomorrow, so we're not really sure. Okay,
I guess between now and June, as we work through this, when would we know if that ratio between the bonded amounts and the cash amounts would need to change?
I see what you mean. I think that it is possible that we could change that. It's unlikely, though, because we have the long-range financial plan sort of dictates how much bond funding we're going to use each year going forward. But you are correct, it could be adjusted at any time, presumably to perhaps use a little more cash and then increase in bonds at some time in the future when it's more favorable. We will be evaluating that. It will not be by June. It will be, I would say, probably right before we're ready to get to sell bonds in the fall.
I see. And I guess the genesis behind this question is I recall that last year there was a push to utilize more cash to pay for these things in a 4% interest rate environment. But if we're looking at a 6 to 7% interest rate environment in this upcoming fiscal year, it's, I think, comparatively was cheaper to do it that way when we could access 4% money versus 6 to 7% money now. But I guess that's a conversation to have with BFS as well as our bond counsel.
Correct. Bond counsel gives us good advice on that, as well as BFS. Thank you. But you're absolutely right. Those things are very important in the long term, how much we pay on interest.
Thank you, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam. Councilmember Tolba.
Thank you, Chair. Quick question, Director, regarding the sewer fee increase. Has there been any issues since it went into effect? Have you gotten any feedback from ratepayers?
Thank you, Council Member. We have, the sewer fee, the first sewer fee increase was just 6%, went into effect on January 1st. And so we have very little data as of this time. The reason is that you're billed, for the prior month, and everybody gets a bill on a different day. So January is sort of a prorated month. People have partly the December rate and partly the January rate. So we really just have 1 month, one full month, which is February. But overall, people have been getting different bills since January. We've had very few inquiries about the bills. And from the 1 month data is we show it depends on what you compare it to, but we do have some numbers in if we just compare January to January, which may or may not be relevant, but January of 2025. We collected 38, sorry, not January, February. January is not relevant, I think. February of 2026, we collected 37.9 million in sewer fees, and in February of 2025, there was 33.7 million. But the variation is quite different, quite a lot month to month. In FY26, just the first 6 months, the range was from 34.8 to 46.4, so it's a pretty big moving target. I think after we have 6 months to a year of data, we'll actually know what's really happening.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Tolba. Councilmember Nishimoto.
Thank you. Just one quick question. When we spoke in my office, we talked about the new billing system you're going to have that bifurcates sewer and water. One thing I forgot to ask you was, when is that going to start?
Yeah, so we're working on it now with Board of Water Supply, but it's probably about a year away from now to get everything in place to have that done. So we think we can probably get it done during FY27, but not during the current fiscal year.
Okay.
Be next fiscal year.
So around this time next year.
Yeah, perhaps around this time next year, or maybe sooner, maybe the end of this calendar year. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Nishimoto. Chair Waters.
Thank you so much. Aloha, Director.
Aloha.
You have so much going on. I don't know where to start. But I would say that amongst the basic city functions, solid waste disposal and wastewater disposal are amongst our top priority, right? Because ultimately, if either one of those fails, we're going to be in deep you-know-what.
Literally, yes.
Literally, figuratively and literally. BFS on Monday said that the only CIP that is approved is that which could be completed during this mayor's term. But I'm looking at your CIP book and the 6-year plan. It seems as though that rule does not apply to you. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, we have a lot of projects that go through the end of this term. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it has to, right? If we're gonna be responsible about solid waste and wastewater, we gotta think about this in the future, right? So just looking at the CIP book and following up on Vice Chair Tupola's questioning, starting with the 6-year CIP and budget for FY 2027 through 32, Oahu Sanitary Landfill. It says that 21 million was appropriated in 2026. In 2027, another 30 million and 2 for 2027, 27 million in 2028, 57 million in 2029, 55 million in 2030 for a total of 169 million. Now, I know we mentioned there's two different CIP requests, but one can be distinguished from the other. The other, I believe, is H-Power improvements and land acquisition. But for this one, I mean, it doesn't sound like this administration and or you are not looking into acquire land for another landfill, but rather shifting to expanding the current Waimanalo sanitary landfill. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the process, if you remember, for siting a landfill is a long and winding road.
Right.
And it led to the conclusion to where we got after the last legislative session, that the only place available is adjacent to the existing landfill. And so that is the path that we are pursuing at this time.
Is that going to cost 30 million, you believe? I mean, are we going to, I guess what I'm getting at is, are we going to use this 30 million in FY27? It's a compound question, but did you use the 21 million from last year?
Yes. Yes. So the intention would be to use, there's land money in there, 10, 30, and 25. So a total of 65 over the FY26, 27, and 28 to be able to use for land purchase. That would be, however, I believe the 10, we may not be able to use the 10, but I have to check.
May I ask what property you're looking at to purchase?
The property is called Makaiva Gulch. It's adjacent to.
Makaiva Gulch, and that's the property adjacent to the current Waimanalo sanitary landfill?
Yes, that's correct.
Makaiva Gulch. Okay. Turning to, I guess it's page 216 on the budget book. This is 31 million this year and 10 million next year for solid waste to energy H-Power expansion. You mentioned it briefly, but this is purchasing the property adjacent to the current H-Power facility. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And you anticipate, because PVT is closing, that you're going to use this property to accept and process construction and demolition waste?
Correct. So it could either be that the city would do that, or perhaps a contractor or some kind of public-private partnership or something, but it makes the land adjacent to our facility, then it would always be city land. And then it could also be, would be very convenient for some sort of future expansion of H-Power, any other type of recycling facilities where residuals then go to H-Power. It's obviously uniquely sited, perfectly sited to have any kind of waste facility at that location. And in addition, we have other property behind H-Power as well, and at a base yard there. So it's a good place for us to have.
And remind us, when is PVT scheduled to close?
That's a moving target. We don't have really good information on that, but it could be within the next 5 years. But we've been saying that for several years. The truth is we don't know when it will close, but it could close fairly soon.
I see. And again, PVT is what currently accepts and processes construction and demolition waste. So anytime you knock down a building, knock down a house, if it doesn't go through Reuse Hawaii, it goes there. And if it doesn't go there, we're going to need to put it in a landfill, right? Because you're not burning that stuff, right? It's like cement and rebar.
That's correct. So some parts of it are burnable and could be recovered in a recovery facility, but most of it is not. But there is a lot of recoverable materials in C&D waste. We estimate about 50%. The current best available technology is to recover about 50%. The other 50% does need to be landfilled, but currently we don't accept that waste at our landfill at Waimanalo Gulch. We tell people, no, you must go to PVT.
PVT. And PVT buries it, as far as
That's correct, yeah.
So 31 million this year, 10 million next year. Do we have a sale price? So it's a $41 million expenditure. Do we know how much the fair market value is of that property? And how big is that property?
It's a nice large property. It's 28 acres, about the same size as H-Power lot.
I see.
The property is not for sale at this time. We do know the tax assessed value is, we'll have to check. It's something similar to this. Generally, we add 25 to 50% based on what the tax assessed value that's available online as a target number for budgeting. So it's, but we can look that up and find out for you.
Okay. We're thinking the same. I was going to ask you what the tax assessed value was and whether or not we should just condemn the property if it's not for sale. Okay, moving on to page 217 on the CIP book. This is solid waste to energy H-Power exterior improvements to the third boiler. The third boiler is the newest of the three boilers. My understanding is that the first two boilers go down quite a bit. This is, well, $7,700,000 that was previously encumbered. But let's talk about the three boilers. I know you mentioned that $250 million you anticipate to refurbish. Is that boiler 1 and 2?
Yes, so that's boiler 1 and 2. So, as you know, there are three boilers. The two of them are the original boilers that are 35, 36 years old.
Yeah.
And those need, all of the boilers have annual maintenance requirements, and they're taken out of service. Boiler 3 just was out of service recently, last month, for 2 weeks, doing its annual refurbishments and upgrades, and we generally spend $10 to $15 million, on necessarily projects that are part of that. So then there are scheduled outages also for boilers 1 and 2 every year, and so the next ones are in later in the fall for boilers 1 and 2, and there would be projects associated with that. Boiler 3 will be next down again in early 27, and so that is in FY27. So there's money in there for the various projects associated with the refurbishments.
On the very next page, there's another 25 million this year, 40 million next year, 15 followed by 19, 32 the following year, 32 the following year, for a total of 164 million for funding to allow for the planning, engineering, and implementation of anticipated future support projects which are not covered under existing contracts for this facility. Is that in anticipation of a fourth boiler?
No, it's not. A fourth boiler, again, would be, if it was the same size as the third boiler, the 900 tons per day, it's somewhere between $500 million and $1 billion. Right. So it's not, these are refurbishment projects, so they're kind of smaller amounts per year. If we're going to do a construction project of a fourth boiler, it would be one large sum in 1 year, or perhaps split into two, to be able to procure, to be able to go through the process of doing a construction contract. We'd have to appropriate the whole amount.
I gotta say, you probably have one of the most difficult jobs, but like I mentioned earlier, we got to start thinking about the future and what we're going to do with this solid waste. Now, in your slide deck, it says that these sources of funding is WB. Is that, what does WB stand for?
So WB is it's called the Special Solid Waste Special Fund. Is that what it's called?
And how much money is currently in the Special Solid Waste Special Fund?
We can get you that number here in just a second.
Yeah, I think that's important.
WB is the solid waste, sorry, that's called the Solid Waste Improvement Bond Fund, WB. So that's bond funds. Those are part of the general obligation bonds that the city sells. So that would be under, the BFS takes care of those bonds.
I see.
So that's the,
So there's no cash in this fund.
it's not a cash fund, but there is money in it. The source is bonds, and so we're proposing to sell. Well, actually, we're not proposing. We're budgeting 106 million in spending of that in FY27.
And debt service on that comes from the general fund?
It does, yes. It comes under general fund.
I see. I mean, should we be putting cash, if we can find savings, should we be putting cash into this fund to defray from the cost? I mean, you just mentioned we're paying 4% interest on the bonds for the wastewater.
Sewer bonds, yeah.
Sewer bonds. You know, we had this whole conversation last year about using cash rather than bonds, but just thinking about what's coming in the next couple of years. I mean, how confident are you that boiler 1 and 2 are gonna last?
Well,
They
so
break down all the time. I mean, my understanding is the reason why we don't have that much capacity at Waimanalo Sanitary Landfill is because the boilers are going down and we have to divert all the solid waste to the landfill because we couldn't burn it. Is that accurate? I mean, that's what I was told when I visited the landfill.
yeah, so there are diversions to the landfill. There are planned diversions and unplanned diversions. We are currently in working with our contractor. It's operated by a contractor. We own the facility, both facilities, the landfill as well, and that's operated by a contractor. So we are working with the contractor on projects. So they actually build the projects. We don't procure the projects. It's done through their contract, the same as the landfill. So they do the construction, or they arrange for the construction, and don't have to go through the city procurement same process. So we just allocate money to them, and then they do the projects, and we monitor it. So there are a series of projects planned to keep the operation running to the greatest extent possible, the greatest amount of uptime. When there is downtime that's unanticipated, then we are diverting if necessary. We do have the 3 boilers. The waste stream, as I mentioned, is about 2,000 to 2,200 tons per day. We have a capacity of 2,900 tons per day if all 3 are running. So we have excess capacity. So if only 1 boiler is down, we have a capacity of about 1,900 tons. So we're really only diverting a part of the waste stream. So that's the advantage of having the extra capacity. And so we there are times when there is diversion, but we do our best to try to limit that. And it is a constant challenge, though. It's a big factory, as you've seen there. There's a lot of moving parts and equipment, and it is very difficult kind of factory, much more complicated than, say, a power plant or something, because there's trash and things are getting beat up constantly. So it's a never-ending maintenance, and we work with the contractor to try to keep up on that.
Are you looking at alternative means of disposing of trash? And by the way, I do want to shift to what we're currently doing as far as recycling is concerned. But are you looking at alternate means other than burning or burying trash?
Yeah, so there are different ways to take care of solid waste. Some communities on the mainland where they have trains and roads that can go long distances, they ship all their waste out to the desert and bury it. That's cheaper than burning and burying ash. There are other emerging technologies for burning trash, but pyrolysis and some other technologies that exist, and we've been investigating those. And we're planning. One of the things we'd like to do on the AES property is to put out an RFP for someone to build a new technology facility, and we would guarantee them a certain amount of waste per day, tons per day. But they would have to pay for everything, and we wouldn't pay for them to build it.
Short answer is yes. And,
yes.
I know Vice Chair is working on a group to facilitate that. But real quick, so shifting to the curbside collection of food waste, what happens if people don't put their green waste or the food waste in a green bin? I know that the contractor who takes our green waste is ramping up and getting ready and purchasing a lot of equipment. Are we guaranteeing them a certain amount of food waste?
Yes. So before they built their new facility, we issued an RFP and put it out to competition for a new contract to process green waste plus food waste plus manufactured compostable materials. So that's your compostable cups and plates and all these other things. And so we did award a contract, and it's a 20-year contract. And that includes recapitalization. So that's essentially paying down the facility as part of the tonnage fee for material that's delivered there, as well as an operating part of the cost. And
because one of the ways I thought about making sure that people put it here, because just as an example, I live on a street that is one way, so I don't want to get any bins. I put food waste in, my hefty bag and put it out. And I would put it in there if I had one of these, but I don't. But still, we pick this up every week, correct?
The gray carts,
Gray carts. And then we pick up the green cart every other week, correct?
That's correct, yep.
And then we alternate the every other week with the blue cart, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, Augie Talbot did this tour de trash. You can see it on YouTube. It actually explains a lot of this stuff, and it's super helpful. And we need to do it again. Because maybe, if you dump out everything in this green bin and you look at it, a lot of the stuff what people are currently putting in the gray bin could go in the blue bin, and especially the food waste into the green bin, right? Just the thought. What if you pick up the gray bin every other week and you pick up the green bin every week, right? So it's kind of like you gotta put it in here. Although, how do you stop people from dumping all kinds of other stuff? I've been told people will put their gas tanks in here, barbells in here, any kind of stuff. You did mention that you have inspectors, but I think we got to be a little bit more serious about that and say, hey, you put metal in here. Either, we're not going to pick it up or we fine you. I don't know. What's your thoughts about how we can solve this problem? Because if we can divert all this stuff and this thing is only a quarter full and these two are full, that's going to help solve some of the waste problem that we're looking at in the future.
Yeah, so thanks. Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely our goal. And on the mainland, there are a lot of communities where you get a large blue cart, a large green cart, and you get a tiny little gray cart. Or you can pay more and get a full-size gray cart. So yeah, that is definitely the intention. Waste recycling is a very dirty, challenging business. The mixed recyclables, for example, the blue cart, it's mixed recyclables by definition, right? We're putting multiple things inside there. So that goes to a processing facility, and there's a sorting line, and there are people taking things out of there and putting it into the right bins. If we start to add more things in there, say number 3 plastic, number 4 plastic, number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they would all need to be separated into different bins.
But how do
So
we
that's
pay
very difficult.
How do we pay for these people who are going to be the bin police, right? I mean, that's kind of what it's going to come down to, because I'm telling you, nobody's going to put the green waste in there. I'm really, really not optimistic about that, because it's going to be in there for 2 weeks, right? And it's going to smell. By the way, I had a small idea. You put a little container on the side, right, that you put it in that, so that when it dumps, you're not mixing all the food waste with everything, that this is harder to clean. Just a thought. But you know what, I've been taking a lot of time.
Yeah.
We
That's
should
okay.
talk
Well,
about this
I hope you're wrong. So contamination is a big problem with all recycling operations. There is contamination now. Before we started adding food waste, there's always been contamination in the green cart. If you go to that facility, you will see their sorting operation, and you'll see all the contamination stuff that they pull out. That's just about education and hopefully getting people to understand the importance of what we're doing, and getting them to be on board with recycling and be part of the program. That is, we think that is achievable, definitely. And other folks do the same thing. There are lots of places on the mainland. The cart's not green. A lot of times it's brown, and it says organics on it. It doesn't say food, doesn't say green waste. It says organics. And then people know. But every single place has problems with contamination. And all you can do is work on education with respect to that. And so we've done that. We've got a lot of information been going out. Probably you've seen it. There's ads on TV. There'll be more to encourage people to do the right thing and put just their food scraps into there. So no pet waste, okay, no roadkill. Food scraps is what it goes in there.
Thank you. I mean, I really, really hope that it works, but it's going to come down to enforcement, right? I really believe that. And maybe we should be putting some effort into enforcement. I'll save for the next round, but you got another thing in here about the sewage sludge going to H Power, but I'll talk about that next round. Thank you. Thank you, Director.
Chair. Really quickly, Director, thank you again for being here and answering all of our questions. I just wanted a quick follow-up on something I think I asked probably, at least for the last couple of years, was your equipment. You did have an update in your slides, I think, but I'm looking at your CIP for the trucks, and you did have in here is about 11 million. Can you just give me an update on your trucks? Because I know there was an issue with the supply chain, and then you said we were looking for some, last year you were expecting some in. Can you give us an update on that, what we received, what we're appropriating for, and what's going through the process?
Yeah, I'm happy to report that we have caught up on trucks. So we're in a way better place than we were a year or two ago, where we were very short on trucks and occasionally leaving routes standing. We haven't needed to leave routes standing in quite some time. We have somewhere around 80+% availability right now of trucks, 80 to 90%, depending on what the type of truck. And there was a time when we were only at 50%. Just a couple of years ago. So 50% means you only have half the trucks that you're supposed to have. We do have, I believe, so in order to keep the fleet going, because trucks get retired every year because they age out, we need to buy a certain number of trucks every year. And it is about 15 to 20, I believe. Let's see. So this is very small.
15 to 20 trucks, and I remember, I know that, last year or the year before, you were talking about just the delay because of the supply chain. So that's good to hear that you've caught up from 50% to 80%. There was some delays in my district and other parts of the island, I know, where they're waiting for pickup. but I'm glad to hear that there's that improvement. And so the 15 to 20 trucks is the goal, and so this year you have, I'm not a truck expert. I was looking at the CIP and I was just trying to figure out like what these types of trucks were. I think they're all garbage trucks. Okay.
These are all garbage trucks. So
Okay.
there's 31 on here. So most of them are side loaders. That's the automated service. There are 3 roll-off trucks and 4 front loader trucks. Those are the ones with the forks to pick up the 3 to 5 cubic yard bins. And then we also have 4 rear loader trucks, I believe, or it might be some of. There's blanks on some of those. Actually, there's a few of those that are removed, I believe. But there is each category. There's
Okay.
trucks, and
Well,
that's to replace. So we have to keep up with the trucks. We need to buy trucks every year because these trucks that we have in the budget this year, they won't arrive for 2 to 3 years actually because they have to be built. But we have to
Okay.
procure and issue the contracts.
So the ones that we received this year were the ones from 2 to 3 years ago that were budgeted?
Yes, or even longer,
Longer,
because of the
because
supply
of the
chain
supply chain.
issues.
Okay.
Some of those orders had to be canceled because prices went up and stuff, and they couldn't deliver what was originally in the contract. But
the
that all
lifespan
got
of-
sorted out. Yeah.
The lifespan of the truck is again, how many years?
The refuse trucks last 6 to 7 years.
6 to 7 years. Okay. And that's with the optimal like maintenance, which we struggled with because you couldn't get any off of the fleet. You had to be using them constantly. But now we can put some in a rotation, hopefully.
Yes, exactly. So we've
Okay.
put quite a few new trucks into rotation now, and we're retiring then our oldest trucks. Some of them are much older than that,
Okay.
than what's desired.
Thank you so much. I do want to thank you for coming to my community to talk about the GROW program, and hopefully we can learn together and the concerns that maybe Chair Waters has, which are valid concerns, we can figure that out as we try to help you with our waste. I appreciate you being innovative with your thinking. Members, I know it's the time has gone quickly. If we have second round questions, could I ask you, unless it's really pressing, to have it emailed to my office and then we'll direct it to Director Babcock at his office? Is that okay with everyone? Okay. Thank you so much, Director, for being here. We appreciate you and your team and all that. Like Chair Waters said,
Thank
you
you.
guys have a hard job, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, members, we are moving on to the next department, which is the Department of Customer Services. For your information, this presentation is available online as Departmental Communication 192-2026. And with us today, we have the Director from CSD, Kimberly Hashiro, as well as Deputy Director Megan Johnson. Aloha and good afternoon, Director Hashiro. Thank you for being here with us and being patient.
You can begin when you're ready, Director. Go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Vice Chair, Vice Budget Chair Nishimoto, Chair Waters, okay, and council members. I'm Kim Hashiro, Director for the Department of Customer Services. With me today, I have members of the CSD leadership team that I'd like to introduce. So first is Megan Johnson, Deputy Director, William Trujillo, DMV Administrator, Christy Cam, Satellite City Hall Administrator, Harold Ned, Acting Public Communications Administrator, and Nilda Ocreto, who is our ASO. So first, I'm going to go over our fiscal 26 to 27 changes. Total positions of 303 FTE are increasing by 7 FTE, or 2.31% in fiscal 27. 5 positions have been added to the Public Communications Division to increase staffing levels in the call center. We're moving towards bringing our call center function in-house and striving to improve services to the public. We'd also like to improve retention by building career paths for our employees. These 5 positions include 1 full supervisor to manage the customer care section and 4 customer service representatives to answer calls from the public. We're also adding 2 budgeted contract positions, 1 records management analyst for public communications and 1 administrative specialist for the Satellite City Hall division. Total salaries of $17.2 million are increasing by $760,492, or just under 5% in fiscal '27. Again, salaries for 5 additional positions to staff an in-house call center are being added, and CBA increases are also reflected in the fiscal '27 budget. I also wanted to mention that the 5 positions that we're adding are actually deactivated positions that we are reactivating. The overall current expense budget of $15.6 million is decreasing by 8.3% compared to fiscal '26. This decrease is primarily due to a decrease in funds for towing services. Expenditures decreased in the DMV division because in the current fiscal year, we had increased funding to pay for outstanding invoices. We are now caught up on towing invoices. Also beginning in fiscal '26, HPD has been budgeting funds for law enforcement tolls. Our equipment request will be $0 next fiscal year, and the overall CSD budget of $32.8 million is decreasing by about 2% between fiscal years. Although we don't have any budget issues per se, I would like to highlight 3 areas that our department is focused on in the coming year. First would be technology and process improvement. We implemented a voice AI system for DMV calls. We started this in November of last year, and it's going really well. We are now moving upwards of 70 to 80% of calls from the public, and we receive about 800 calls a day coming through our voice AI system. We know that it's successful because we have not seen an increase in complaints. We're also updating very shortly our driver's license, state ID card system. There will be new hardware and software at all of our locations, and in fact, statewide. And the estimated go-live date will be, we're estimating, hoping for April, possibly May, but in the very near future. We're also going to, as I mentioned earlier, move towards bringing the DMV call center in-house, utilizing technology, reorganizing, and repurposing positions. For future years, we're focused on increasing digital dashboard information. So right now, we actually have a prototype for our digital dashboards for DMV, satellite, call center, operations. However, it's a manual process. We actually populate spreadsheets, upload it into a dashboard, but we're working towards extracting data from mainframe systems and Aloha Q into these digital dashboards, making it a much more efficient process and having information readily available to us. And lastly, you heard Director McKee from DIT yesterday explain about our mainframe and the need to get off the mainframe and build out a front end. That is critical for our department. Our driver's license, motor vehicle registration, and other systems reside on the mainframe system. It's a very old, antiquated system. He has just a few staff that are able to maintain and modify it. What that does for us operationally is it really limits our ability to progress. When we want changes done, it's very difficult. The staff does everything that they can. DIT tries to support us as much as possible, but the system has a lot of limitations, and this is why we really need to move off this system. This is our goal during the remainder of this administration, and Director McKee and I will continue to try to explain and justify this critical need. Okay, moving on to improving training and retention of employees. I'll be getting to our vacancy slide shortly, but this area is something that I've talked about before in terms of reorganizing and the need to utilize our positions and our org structure to reflect how we need to operate and provide service to the public in the most effective way. So we actually have completed 3 reorgs thus far, and we have 4 more to go. So we're very close to completing one of them for our public communications division, and this will move a lot of the positions that I've talked about into the right section. We're also working on a very extensive driver's license branch reorg. This will affect almost 100 positions, and it will also reflect properly classification, compensation, reporting structure in a way that I believe will definitely increase interest in in-house promotional opportunities, as well as motivate employees to want to stay and have a very long career in our department and in the driver's license branch in particular. Satellite City Halls underwent a smaller reorg in the last few years, but there's another one that we need to do to also support their operations. And next year, we're going to shift our focus to the motor vehicle registration branch. Lastly, facility relocation and expansion. What we're doing this year is asking to rebudget funds for certain projects, the Kapolei Satellite City Hall expansion. From this fiscal year to next fiscal year, there were some delays in relocation of other units so that we can expand. And then also the Wahiawa Civic Center. I will cover that on our CIP slide later, but this will enable us to move staff from our existing Wahiawa driver's license and Satellite City Hall locations into a brand new building. I wanted to mention also Director Miyazaki talked about HollyGov this morning, and that is something that CSD is participating in for the pilot. These reorgs that I just talked about are going to require different classification strategies, and we're going to help test the HollyGov system and hopefully be able to more quickly reclassify and reallocate positions. Okay, our vacant positions. So on February 21st, we had 26 vacant positions, 21 general fund and 5 highway beautification fund, of which 3 positions have been filled in February and March. However, as you can see on the slide, we also lost 3 positions. So our vacancy rate stayed the same and is at about 8%. We plan to fill 14 positions before June 30th of this year and fill the remaining 12 in fiscal 27. I'd like to note that CSD has filled 71 positions in fiscal year 2026 thus far, which represents 24% of our permanent positions. However, also since July of last year to present, CSD has lost 41 positions. So it's a significant turnover, and we're working really diligently to fill positions as quickly as possible and also make the kinds of organizational changes that I talked about so that we can retain employees. We have no vacant positions that may be abolished, and 11 positions have been deactivated in fiscal year 27. Our overtime budget is an estimated 1,612 hours and 161,000. This is less than 1% of our $17.2 million salary budget. Breaking it down by division, Public Communication Administration has a provision of $58,300 for overtime in case of emergency response requirements. So as you know, we are working now to try and staff shelters that will be opening, and CSD is participating in that effort. We will be providing staffing resources. DMV has a total of $103,000 budgeted, of which $20,000 is allocated to motor vehicle registration. And we utilize this when there is an increase in transaction volumes due to higher demand. And if we can't keep up and stay close to our acceptable turnaround periods, then we do schedule overtime. For driver's license, branch, $83,000 is budgeted and will be used to open locations on Saturdays or to work extended hours during the week. We do this on a rotational basis to increase customer access to services. Although satellite city halls does not have an overtime budget, they are assisting consistently and readily whenever DMV needs support and when we need to increase access to our motor vehicle registration and/or driver's license services. For revenues, CSD is projected to generate $228 million in revenues in the coming year. The majority of revenues generated is through motor vehicle registration and driver licensing and permits, which will bring in approximately $218 million. $5.9 million is attributed to charges for other services, which include service fees for dishonor checks, credit card payment fees, passport intake fees, spay and neuter fees, and highway beautification. Miscellaneous revenues, which include motor vehicle inspection, disabled placards, towing services, auction, and sales for impounded vehicles, is estimated to generate $3.9 million. We'd like to note that although CSD revenues for fiscal 27 are projected to be $22.8 million, our expenditures are at $32.8. There are no federal funds budgeted in CSD. For our capital budget, we do have 2 replacement vans. Dr. Kawano explained earlier that BFS's policy was to apply a 60,000 and 10-year lifespan criteria on vehicles. So our 2 vehicles being replaced are well over this threshold. The Satellite City Hall cargo van at $78,000 is 15 years old and is being used to transport primarily equipment and supplies between our 9, or actually 10 if you include Joint Base, satellite locations. The DMV cargo passenger van, which will seat more people, is estimated to cost $93,000, and this van is 35 years old. Okay, moving on to our single CIP project. This is for the Wahiawa Civic Center. This is a state building. The city has entered into an agreement with the state to lease this building for $1 per year, starting with 35 years, with an option to add 3 additional 10-year terms, so a total of 65 years. It's a brand new building on California Avenue. Our existing driver's license and satellite staff, which are currently located next to the police station in Wahiawa, will relocate. We'll try to repurpose as much equipment and resources from those locations into the new building, but we're also expanding the counters, and we're going to be able to increase service to the community. It's also very exciting for us because the staff is going to be moving from very small and cramped offices into a brand new facility. For fiscal 26, we appropriated $2 million in funding for this project. This was based on a consultant estimate the Department of Accounting and General Services is supporting the city. They are actually building and constructing this building for us, and the city is reimbursing the state. So the $2 million estimate for the current year was based on previous information, discussions, a conceptual layout, and consultant assumptions, or what is termed a zero-cost estimate. Due to time constraints, consultants were asked to take their best guess on the mechanical, electrical, and telecommunication costs. However, since then, we have received an updated cost estimate and need to request an additional $2 million for this build-out in fiscal '27. So currently, the building is actually constructed and built. What this money is going to do is enable us to build out the inside of the structure for our operations. Most recently, the building permit for city facilities was approved, and the permit was issued. Construction started this past Monday and is scheduled to be completed in the next 6 months. We're hoping that we can move into the new location by the end of the year or early part of next year. Thanks for your attention. We really appreciate it, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Director Hashiro. Members, for this round, we will start with Councilmember Dos Santos Tam. No questions? Councilmember Tolba. Vice Chair Nishimoto. Councilmember Cordero.
I have just really quick questions. Okay, so thank you, Chair Okimoto. Director Hashiro, for HollyGov, that's really great. You'll be participating and utilizing it. Is DHR, are you adding funding for HollyGov in your budget as well? Or are you relying on DHR's budget for that? Like one purchase and everyone use them?
Actually, what we did is we're sharing in the cost this year, and we actually provided partial funding to DHR so they could start this program, and we're going to continue to share in the funding next year. We're not asking for an increase. We're going to be absorbing this cost. It's not that much compared to our overall budget, but it is a really critical system. Classification and pay is very complicated, and it's also very structured. And what we've been able to do is work with DHR to try to see if we can find more efficient ways of using classification and government classification in general to start this process. We actually have a meeting scheduled tomorrow because the city is closing. I'm not sure if that meeting is going to occur, but if not, it will occur soon. And we will get this project started.
Okay, thank you. And I was wondering because we saw that DIT was able to help upgrade some systems, but would they have been able to do exactly what HollyGov's doing in the future? So I don't know. That's just a thought. I do also want to ask about the towing contracts. I know we mentioned this before, but I really want my community to hear it because we have issues with certain vehicles that are over a certain tonnage. I have plenty industrial area in my district, from Maiea to just Kapalama. So there's that, plus a really big boats that that we just can't tow. So do you have an update whether or not we're going to be able to handle that under a towing contract or not?
So moving forward with the new towing contract that was posted at the end of last year and is a new structure where we're separating out abandoned vehicles in CSD and law enforcement towing in HPD. We're going through that process now. The new contracts are not awarded, but the scope of services has been expanded to include large vehicles. So right now, if that occurs, we're required to obtain multiple quotes or attempt to obtain multiple quotes. It takes longer, and we have to generate a PO to pay for that. In the new contract, it will be included, and it'll be much faster. It is still an additional cost, so we are looking at, or we will be evaluating when the proposals come in, what that cost will be. And we're looking for the best cost, of course, for the city.
Thank you. I just want to thank you and your team, and especially for everyone at Satellite City Halls who are making the city really look good, actually. So thank you all. And keep up the good work, even with the tips on your social media as well. Those are really great. Thank you. And thank you, Chair Okimoto.
Thank you, Councilmember Cordero. Thank you, and thank you for being here with us, Director Hashiro. I wanted to thank you for explaining the vans. I know that that was one of my questions earlier in the week with BFS, so thank you for explaining that. I actually didn't know that you guys had vehicles, but that makes sense that you guys need them, and hopefully the new ones will last.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I was going to say my van is about the same age as your van. Not the 35-year-old, but the 15-year-old.
Wow.
But I wanted to repeat, you said, if I heard correctly, and I looked at the budget book, you said that your revenues was about 23 million projected and the expenditures will be 32 million.
So 228 million, yeah, versus.
And I looked, and
32.
historically, that's kind of how it's been, where your expenses projections will be more than the estimated revenue.
So the estimated revenues are 228 million per year, and our expenditures are far less at 32.8 million.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at the budget book where you had,
So those are totals.
those are totals. The 32.842, that's different. That's what you're talking about there. And then
Yeah.
what is this 23.409? That's just for division of motor vehicles. I'm just trying to understand when you, I was trying to get the numbers right when you said them.
Oh, so the 228 million is
Okay.
total revenue, so that would be everything that we bring in for the department.
And then it gets dispersed.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you for clarifying that. And I think that might have been my last question. I want to thank you again. We've talked over this over the last several years about how I'm grateful that you're doing things to be more automated. And I think Director McKee is doing a good job. He has a lot of work dealing with all the departments, but yours especially is a priority for him, so that for his department, so that you can get your I shouldn't say offices, but we want to make sure the DMVs and all of your motor pool areas they're working, so that we can have less frustrations, I think, on the ends of our constituents. But I know that that's something that's been a focus of yours as well.
We're really trying to move things online also, and as we get closer, we're already close, but as we get even closer to go live for our new card system, you will see increases in speed and delivery of the cards, and reliability in terms of when customers come to our locations. The speed in which they're serviced will be increased. We won't have multiple lines anymore where you have to go to a separate photo booth. Each window will be able to complete transactions completely start to finish. That'll increase our capacity, cut down on wait times. The technology in itself is able to more quickly take pictures, format pictures, and identify documents that customers have to bring in. So it really is going to be a vast improvement. And we're working so hard, DIT, the other counties, the state, everyone is working to make this project a success. We've been working on it now since last February. So it's been just over a year. And it's really important. We're at the point now where we are testing, and we're going to start data migration. So that's going to be critical for us, because we need to make sure that all of the records come over from our old system to our new system.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that. Really quick question. With things being automated, which is great to hear, how will this impact the labor force? So we'll still need the employees. We're not looking at
Yes.
cutting their positions, just that the process will be quicker and then there won't be as much backlog. They're not going to be replaced.
Yes,
okay.
that is definitely the case. In fact, in many of our areas, a lot of time is spent on data entry. We're intaking paper, right? And we're data entering or uploading. We're scanning some and we're uploading, but it's still a very manual process. And what's going to happen is, even with technology improvements, we still need employees to review and verify information and validate before transactions are completed. That's not going to go away. There are also other kinds of services or work that we want to shift our employees' focus and attention towards, things that we haven't been able to accomplish because we just don't have the resources. So I have no doubt that even with the technology and the improvements that we're going to be seeing in the next few years, that the staff Their value and their worth to the department and the need for them will continue. It's just going to change.
Okay, thank you for explaining that. Hopefully, though, we will see the decline of, we can get rid of vacancies, we won't need new positions, because eventually the goal is to get things more efficient. So
Yes.
while not trying to remove those already in, I would hope that we wouldn't need to then have more positions, or we could get rid of some vacancies that exist.
We're really trying hard not to ask for additional positions. We are trying to repurpose the existing deactivated positions that we have so that we're not increasing our total position count. And we do have positions in our department that we just don't need in the current classification and format. But as we look towards expanding and providing additional services, even if a lot of them are online, there will be new staffing requirements. And that's what I want to shift towards and move towards. When we do that also, we should be able to have certain positions be at a higher level, because now it is not data entry and as much processing, but it is actually focused more on review and validation and trying to generate information and come up with strategies so we can provide better service.
Thank you. Thank you for answering our questions. Members, any second round questions before we move on? Okay. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Members, we'll be moving on now to our next department, which is the Honolulu Fire Department. For your information, this presentation is available online as Departmental Communications 193-2026. And this is a little out of order. I know Chief Howell was traveling for work, so that's why they're not here on the day where we had our other first responder departments come before us. But thank you for being with us. Chief Howell, Kalani Howell, and Deputy Fire Chief Jason Samala. And you can, if you want to introduce your team, that's fine. Chief, the only thing I ask is if any of your members come up and answer a question for any of us, that they state their name for the record.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair, Commissioners, Kalani Hall, Fire Chief of the Honolulu Fire Department. I would like to thank Councilmember Okimoto for actually accommodating my request to adjust our schedule. Just wanted to share with you folks that I was off in Orlando to get seek reaccreditation for our department. So proud to present, let you guys know that we were awarded our reaccreditation for our sixth time since year 2000. So
Congratulations. Thank you.
yeah, it's a reflection of all the hard work and efforts that all of our staff do. So thank you again. Joining me today is Assistant Chief Chris Cabasa, Battalion Chief Kalepa Torres, Assistant Chief, I'm sorry, Kevin Mokulehua, and Battalion Chief Souza, Craig Souza. You can go to the second slide, please. This slide shows our overall increase of 1.5%. If we look at across the board on our salaries, remained relatively flat for a change of 332,000, representing only a 0.2% increase, and that is mainly attributed to addition of two positions, one of firefighter 3 in our fire dispatch center, and also adjustment of our community relations specialist that was funded from a special fund, which was transferred over to our operating fund, and also for collective bargaining for our non-uniform staff. Our current expenses is where the largest portion of the increase, for $1.4 million or 7.8% over the previous current expenses. And that is mainly due to the increase in goods and services, some transition from some C monies to B monies because of the threshold with fixed and memo assets being adjusted from 5,000 to 10,000. That was approximately a $200,000 adjustment. Also, the largest increase for that current expense has to do with just the overall cost of our protective equipment. Our new contract, there was a 40% increase in actually our turnouts. So that was about a $400,000 increase. And the other increases is mainly due to upgrading software systems. Our national fire reporting systems needed to be upgraded by January 1st. So we're starting to integrate all these new systems to be able to meet that criteria. And our equipment, that increase is mainly attributed to having to replace our radio systems to get new upgraded radios. Next slide, please. And there you could see the adjustments and increases by activity. And you can see our radio shop, it had one of the largest increase of 226%, and that was to purchase approximately $1 million in radios, to purchase our radios to get upgraded. Next slide. Source of the funding, bulk of our budget actually comes all from the general fund. And as you could see, the reduction in our special fund was actually the change in that position, moving from the special fund at one community relations specialist from the second slide. It was funded with our special fund. Now it's in the operating fund. Next slide, please. Our budget issues that we put in for this year, and we got, again, referencing that firefighter 3 position in our fire dispatch, and mentioned earlier also with that software upgrades that were needed to our systems. Next slide. Position counts, there was a 1.8% increase, adding 21 positions. Again, referencing that firefighter 3 position in dispatch. And the 20 positions is actually, I requested for an unfunded position to create a recruit pool, because there's certain times of the year where I have to make a decision on recruit class sizes, and having that pool of recruit positions allows me to be a little bit more aggressive in being able to fill those positions without going over the ordinance and our FTEs. It takes 8.5 months for us to process a recruit to go through training, so having this pool of unfunded positions just allows us to be aggressive in our recruitment. Next slide. Our non-uniform positions, vacancies, current snapshot as of January 31st is 10, and we plan to fill 7 by the end of the fiscal year. And 3 of those additional positions that we look to fill in fiscal year 27, we're going to look to reallocating those positions. So we're going to have take some time to work on reallocating those positions. Next slide. Currently, as the vacancy snapshot for our uniform positions as of January 31st was 136. That can be a little deceiving because our recruits, after we hire them, they're actually in ghost positions. So right now, I currently have approximately 95 recruits that are hired, but they're again sitting in recruit positions. So our actual fiscal vacancies is approximately 41, and it was due to most of the recent retires throughout November and December of last year. And we are going to have a recruit class scheduled for approximately 40 in July, so we're kind of on track with filling our vacancies. Next slide. Looking at our overtime, there's only going to be an increase of 124,000 in our overtime. We have it broken down in non-holiday overtime, holiday overtime, and our rank-for-rank overtime object code. So again, the only increase is with our non-holiday overtime, and it's more attributed to our, I'll go over it on the next slide. It has the breakdown on our different various sections. So again, you see that increase, that 124,000 increase, and 50,000 is for our fire dispatch center. For staffing, we have to, it's critical for us to have enough staffing, so that 50,000 will allow them to staff appropriately. 20,000 in our fire prevention bureau. Our PIO is we're using field people to come in and kind of help out with the overflow. But now we're adjusting, and now the overtime is going to be needed in our prevention staff. Mechanic shop, we're asking for an additional 50,000 to just help maintain all of the different, our aging fleet. A lot of times they have to come on the weekends because we're a 24/7 operation. When our apparatus goes down, we have to call in our our mechanics to come in and repair our vehicles. And also with an increase of $4,000 with our radio shop. As you guys see with all of these recent weather events that we've been having, our radio shop personnel actually come out and we help deploy. There's times when our radio systems go down, and so we try to put up redundant systems. So we rely on our technical staff in our radio shop to actually go out, deploy these systems to take the place of the radio towers that may have gone down. Revenue summary. Our licenses and permits, that is attributed to our fireworks permits that we have. So we don't estimate any increase in that from 26. Intergovernmental revenues, the money for our state fire council is reimbursable, flat across the board. Our plans review fee, we foresee a 1.5% increase. Just for some history, if you look at fiscal year 25, last year's reduction had to kind of do with DPP's system. And so now we're kind of in conjunction, we're foreseeing that there will be an increase once they get more efficient and more plans are coming through. That's why we foresee a slight increase for fiscal year 27 revenues. Next slide, please. Currently, we don't have anything budgeted for fiscal year 27 as far as federal funding, but we did put in for congressionally directed spended funds of approximately $19.9 million. A bulk of that is coming. We're going to request another twin-engine helicopter, and the application is in, and we hope to hear by October if we're going to get awarded. So for that $19 million, we're going to request a twin-engine helicopter, an aviation fuel tender, a hoist simulator. Probably can touch on that a little more. Hoist simulator for our twin-engine helicopter over our single-engine helicopters. Now we have hoist capabilities, but they have a work-hour lifespan on it. So looking for a hoist simulator, we can conduct training without using up the workable hours on our hoist. We're also asking for some generators, and again for our some radio replacement. But with that grant fund, we're asking for $19 million. And there's other FEMA grants that we have things in the pipeline, but we're still waiting because of the uncertainty of the FEMA grants. We also have Department of Transportation that we're waiting for the application period, and also for the Community Wildfire Defense Grant. So none of that is monies are given to us yet, but we're all having that in the pipeline, just waiting. Next slide. Our capital improvement. We have for our bulk fund to take care of our aging stations, $4.5 million. And the following slides, 3 slides will show the breakdown of those projects. So our first 5 projects we have in the construction phase, our Makakilo Fire Station for our driveway reconstruction and NPDES upgrades, improvements for $600,000. We have some design phase for Honolulu Fire Station interior reconstruction, some overhead charging for various stations. Line item 4 is for our Waikiki Fire Station underground storage tank, fuel tanks, and our Kahuku Fire Station emergency generator improvements. Next slide. Other projects within the bulk fund, we have our Sunset Fire Station, again, with our fuel tanks, a conversion, our Mokulele Fire Station emergency generator. And a lot of these you're gonna see has to do more with resiliency, making sure that all our facilities are hardened. And it's really important why we have a lot of these generators. Kahalu Fire Station also, we're planning to get a generator for there also. Central Fire Station, conversion of our fuel system, and a kitchen renovation exhaust in various fire stations. And item 11 is just for any unanticipated repairs needed in our 50 facilities. With our line items, we have $500,000 for design phase for our Pearl City Fire Station, and also $250,000 for our Waialua Fire Station. And for our Waikiki Fire Station reconstruction, we have in a planning and design, $1 million. Going back to our Pearl City and Waialua stations, we are actually in the phase of trying to acquire the land. So right now we're having DDC, DPP, and HLM helping us get those finalized. So our Waialua Fire Station, the subdivision was done. So now we're waiting on both projects for the actual property owners to file some use permits to be completed before we can finalize those purchases. So our hope is to get it done as soon as possible. Next slide. For our equipment, we have $12,682,000. That is for 4 engines, 1 aerial apparatus, 2 tankers, some auxiliary vehicles, 3 mid-size sport utilities, and a UTV. It's been very challenging getting our apparatuses post-COVID. So we've been in a catch-up phase right now. So we're very pleased to be able to have, these amounts of apparatuses. In fiscal year 25, we were awarded 7, and all of those have been awarded and moving forward. In our fiscal year 26, we had 8 apparatuses, and 4 already executed already, and we're still working on the other equipment. Next slide. Oh, and actually that concludes our presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Chief Hao. We'll be starting this round of questions with Councilmember Tolba. Okay, Committee Vice Chair Nishimoto. Chair Waters. No questions. I know, okay, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam. I think Councilmember Cordero will come back. No, she's coming back, so
Okay.
yeah, I'll pass on to you.
Thank you. I wanted to, first of all, compliment you guys. Last year, you presented 152 vacancies. This year, 146. We always appreciate seeing the number of vacancies going down. I wanted to ask, what was the 1.5 FTE the 1.5 FTE contract employee?
One is a contract position, the 1.0 in our administrative services, and our 0.5 is with the Fire Commission.
Ah, okay. And why are those on, I guess, why is that 1.0 position on contract and not a permanent position?
Sorry, is that the 1.0? Do you have a? Yeah, we've kept it a contract over the years.
Okay. I see Councilmember Cordero's back, so if she has any questions, she certainly may.
You can continue.
Okay.
And then we'll come back to her. Thanks, Councilmember.
I recall that last year there was some discussion about a study about whether the fire department and EMS should be merged. What was the outcome of that exercise?
My understanding is the work group is still meeting to make that determination. Again, from my standpoint, and I've mentioned it before, I still have my concerns. Right now we have our priorities that I want to make sure that we can take care of. The safety and well-being of my personnel is number one. Last year we had our first line of duty death, and I think when it comes down when we have so much time and money, and want to make sure that we focus on our training and making sure we get our firefighters in our lane to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's to make sure that we can keep our personnel safe and while they provide the services to the community. I understand that the community, that's a need that the community has, but like I said, I'm not going to put that over the safety and well-being of my personnel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam. Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you, Chair. Chief, I have a question relating to if we get the $19 million for the twin engine, and then you're looking for a aviation fuel, what is that, tower?
A tender.
Okay.
Tanker.
So will that then be housed in the Kailua area, or will that be able to be housed, or do you have capacity to house that even?
That would go back to the HNL. Right now, we're currently leasing out in Kailua until the reconstruction of our Honolulu site.
So we do have capacity if the 19 million is then granted for the,
That is correct.
okay, that's good to know. And I just want and the last question is, I want clarification when you mentioned that you're looking to transfer over, oh gosh, I don't know what you said, but it was before you mentioned the no federal funds, but it was about positions, transferring over positions for carryover. Is that what you mentioned? Or am I getting that incorrect?
With the recruit positions?
Yes, with the recruit positions.
When I need to make a decision to project how many recruits I'm going to have in a recruit class, I have to kind of look ahead. And sometimes, I'll give you an example. I have to make a decision we have recruit classes in January and July, 6 months apart. And right around September, I have to look at how many fiscal vacancies we have. And back this past September, I had 31. But I knew I wanted to have a class of 40. So I have to rely on anticipated vacancies. You know, I needed this little cushion of having this extra FTEs in place, because if I ask for 40 recruits and then not enough people retire, I'll be going over the ordinance and the FTEs. So having these unfunded positions, I didn't need the funding. It's just I needed that cushion because we're getting so close to minimizing our vacancies. Having that mechanism in place that allows us to be aggressive in our recruitment.
Okay, thank you. Those are my only 2 questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Cordero. Aloha, good afternoon again, Chief.
Yep.
I had some follow-up questions as well. Going back to your slides, and you did mention, I'm sorry, I get confused about which is the first page, the 2 positions, the firefighter 3, and then you have the community relations specialist moving from special operating funds to general funds.
Yes.
Kind of similar to what Councilmember DeSantos Tam was asking. What's the reason for that? What is this? So this community relations specialist, that's not a firefighter.
No, that's a civilian employee.
Civilian. Yes. And the reason for moving it from special operating fund to general fund was what again?
So we had that position under contract under our plans review into that special fund.
Position.
And,
okay.
And part of our budget issue previous years was we wanted to make that position permanent. And so when it was funded last year, the special funds it still funded it. This year was just now, after we were given the position, it's actually now moving the funding to the operational side.
Okay. I might have follow-ups on that. I'll contact you if I do.
Okay.
And you did explain, thank you for explaining that both in our meeting and here in the hearing about the 21 positions. How often, and when was the last time you had to do this? I know that you're looking at your vacancies and you're looking to see the possibility of a certain number retiring and how that would impact. How often have you had to do that, or has the department, I know that you haven't been in this position forever, but how often does that happen? And when was the last time that the department asked for a lump sum of these positions?
That was the first time, because again, we're at this position where we're getting close to, not many fiscal vacancies available. And it becomes more of a problem in deciding my July class. Because predominantly throughout a calendar year, within the first 6 months, only 17 to 25% retire. So when I have to make a decision, it's either in September and March for the 2 classes in January and in July. Again, having this mechanism in place is going to allow us to be a little more aggressive in how many people we want to.
Okay, so this has never happened before?
No, this is something new that we worked with BFS and trying to figure out, is there any kind of mechanism that we can raise our FTEs to allow us to fill our vacancies as quickly as possible. Again, because it takes 8.5 months for us for our recruit class. So I can get as much people in the door as soon as possible.
So this is unprecedented. I mean, I'm assuming we won't have to see this often.
No.
Even though you're anticipating a number of recruits. Retirements. There's been a number of retirements throughout the whole department's existence.
And it was mainly to deal with, if I can go back 25 years ago. In 1999, we had a large. We usually hire anywhere about 40 to 50 a year. Back in 1999, we hired 83 individuals. 2000 was 70. 2001, it was about 110. So right now we're seeing these people reaching retirement with 25 years. So we needed to have this mechanism in place. So when this wave or swell comes in, the hope is that we can kind of get ahead of it, so we're not left when we have a lot of people retire and we're not trying to get ahead of it.
And on average, how many retire a year?
More recently, every year's up nearing 50. And since 1999, the data that we have average was 40. But as we move in the last 5 years or so, 10 years, it's moving up towards 50.
Okay.
But the determining factor when people retire has a lot to do with collective bargaining. And right now we're kind of in limbo. We've been out of contract since July 1st. And right now the contract is in arbitration. So, trying to predict when people are going to retire, it's kind of in this weird place that is making it a little difficult for us to make that decision, because some people may be waiting to see what the contract would look like.
Thank you. You mentioned, and this is, I think you were on slide 10 at the time, for the overtime. And I was trying to jot it down, but you said that right now you have field people from the field coming in to cover for the PIO for overtime? But that,
yes.
So is that?
And that is something that, I think communications has changed a lot. I mean, we need to get more information out. So to have a PIO, we have only one position, and we don't have staff to kind of help them with, it's 24/7 and being on standby. So we had to create this team of personnel from operations to bring them on overtime as needed. But what we've done is shifted it more towards the 40-hour realm. We found ways to, instead of using our 56-hour uniform members, we found a rotating team within our prevention bureau.
Okay,
so
got it.
Yeah, we're just adjusting and
So
shifting.
these are not people in the
where the help is coming
stations.
from.
These are people in the,
Correct,
the building.
yes.
How many people have you centered around the PIO position?
We didn't want to make the pool too big, so right now we have it rotating between having maybe 3 deep to assist the PIO.
And how much in overtime are we spending on that, or is expended on this?
The overtime is, they're on standby. It's only one PIO on standby, and if a call comes in, so it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, I
don't
could
have
imagine that'd be
exact number.
hard, especially with the
Yeah.
calls that come 24/7 with you guys and having the
And
public.
the calls come in waves. I would say in the last several weeks we've been having a lot of fires and
So this is
large
just,
scale alarms.
this is what you're anticipating for this year. That's what was happening in the past.
That is correct.
Okay. Sorry, just to get my Post-it notes. Oh, and you did mention on the grants, the federal grants, the funding for that. Nothing budgeted for this year because everything's kind of in.
We're still waiting.
You're still waiting?
We're still waiting for the application periods to open. But like I mentioned earlier, I think the congressional directed spending funds, the application already went in, and we hope to hear by October. FEMA AFG grant, FEMA Homeland Security, FEMA Fire Prevention and Safety grant.
Have we been recipients of these grants in the past? And if so, how much?
Yes.
Is it every year that we can kind of anticipate
We put
it?
in every single year.
And do we get it usually?
For the most part, yes.
Okay, so the hope is that this will change, even though it's
Correct.
blank right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know our congressional spending we're asking for a lot, so we may not get that amount, but usually
Okay.
we are awarded
okay, thank
some
you.
in each of those.
Just a couple more. Thank you so much for your time again. And thank you for the updates on the trucks. I did ask this, I think I've asked you and ENV pretty much every year, the status, and you did have an update. So we're looking at everything, right now, all of your trucks in operation, but you do have the lifespan and you do have ones coming in.
Correct.
The issues with the supply chain we've addressed them for the
There's
most part?
still issues with the supply chain. Like I said before, the build times went from 365 days to over 1,000. So there is going to be a period of time where, we're going to have to really rely on our mechanics to kind of help keep our current fleet up and running. We just have to kind of wait and see.
Is there just like one, I'm not a fire truck expert, I don't know. Is there like one source that we go to? Are there others?
There's very few manufacturers or vendors within our state that actually are in here. So maybe 3 different types of manufacturers maybe. And usually when we put off a solicitation, we'll be lucky if we have 3 vendors that come in and bid.
And do we get them all from the same source, or can we get just to be?
No, different sources.
Different sources,
Yep.
okay. Thank you. Well, I look forward to hearing more updates on that. And just following up on, it was a couple of years ago where in the Public Safety Committee, we did have that resolution for the merger. And I would like to hear some updates. I haven't heard about it in a while from what I feel like it's just gone dead. I thought, and I could be wrong, but I thought at that point the department, the union was in favor of it. But now you're saying that's not the case, I could be wrong.
I always said I have my concerns.
Okay.
Again, when I look at the statistics, we don't have the vacancy issues with as EMS. So if we look at just by basic numbers, they respond to approximately 110,000 calls per year. And we have a memorandum of agreement that we co-respond with them. And of those 110,000, we respond to 40,000 of those calls. So again, my concern would be if our staff or our apparatuses now are going to play in that game a little more, that our utilization rate now is going to go up as well. So during every shift that we have, we have alarms that we have to respond to. We have maintenance to maintain our equipment, maintain our station, and our training. So, looking at all of what's required as far as time to have our personnel maintain this level of proficiency, because we're the only game in town for all hazards. And so now if I feel that if more time and effort is going to spend responding to more alarms, it's going to take away from all of the things that we need to prepare for and all of those hazards. So that's why I always say that I have my concerns, because I have to be, again, I think of the safety and well-being of my personnel, and just there needs to be a balance. I just don't wanna
completely
cross that line.
understandable. I will say that when this was brought to my attention years ago, I wasn't even in the council yet, but when it was brought to my attention, it was actually not just for the public safety of the communities, which is one of my passions, but also for the personnel in your department, because there were concerns with ambulance fires and how it was impacting your department and your personnel. So I'm hoping, and maybe I'll have to contact the MDO's office to get the MDO's to get an update on the status of it. I feel like it just kind of went flat. And although I value everybody's opinion, just know that my passion and concern has always been to ensure the safety of the public while at the same time helping each department. And I think that the concerns that were brought up during that time, which seems to have been decades standing, I don't know if they've been answered yet. And so to me, to just stay status quo also, I don't know if it's going to be beneficial in the long run. But I appreciate you always being willing and willing to answer our questions. Yeah, I think that's all.
The topic is when I go back and I speak to previous fire chiefs, and they both had their different opinions on what should be done.
As probably everything will have, you'll hear
many studies that has happened. So,
well, hopefully, again, we can. My focus has been to make sure that the public is safe. But thank you so much, members. If we have any follow-up questions for Chief Howell, thank you, you guys. I like when you guys come dressed up. Thank you for being patient with us as we went through the other departments today. Thank you. Members, we can now move on to agenda item number 2, the legislative budget review. Yeah, this is the one time we can see Kenny in a suit. We'll first proceed with testimony. Clerk, do we have any in-person testifiers for this item?
Chair, there are none.
Thank you. Proceeding now with remote testimony. Clerks, do we have any remote testifiers for this item?
Chair, there are none.
Thank you. We'll now proceed on with the legislative budget review. First, we have, I believe, we have the city auditor. Is that correct, Kenny? No, you? Okay. So no, scratch that. Move on. Okay, before us we have from the City Council. Okay, so for your information, this presentation is available online as Council Communication 40, 2026. And joining us, we do have with us in the chamber Council Chair Waters, but here presenting will be our Administrative Services Officer, Kenny Amazaki.
Good afternoon. Again, for the record, Kenny Amazaki, the Administrative Services Officer for the Council. So also with me today, we have the Director of Office of Council Services, Director Renton Park, Deputy Director Jana Pitcher, and the new ASO for the Office of Council Services, Marissa Yoshioka. The City Clerk is also with us, as well as Chad Kadota, the city auditor Choice Shimasaki, as well as Jordan Alonso. First slide. So first off, I'll be giving the legislative branch overview. I'll go into the city council's overview, and I'll also brief the Office of Council Services budget, and then I'll turn it over to the city clerk as well as the city auditor. For the legislative branch overall, our budget appropriation request is $33,367,332. It's increased by 2.7 or almost $2.8 million or 9.1% from current fiscal year 2026. You'll see that the majority of that increase is out of the clerk's office. Glenn will expound more on that particular increase, but for the most part, it's a $2.1 million increase in the clerk's budget for the city's share of the voting system obligation. Next slide. The branch's FTEs positions, there is no change at 174. Salary figures, our request is $15,648,281. It's an increase of $465,080 or 3.06% from fiscal year 26. Mainly the increase is the 4% salary adjustments for exempt branch personnel. Includes salaries for the Charter Commission staff members, and that is only for half a year. That's why the increase doesn't go up to 4%. It also includes salary adjustments and step movements for civil service personnel in the clerk's office. Next slide. Branch current expenses. Request is $9,146,539. It's an increase of $2,120,696 or plus 30.1% from fiscal year 26. It also includes our ACA allotments as well as our provisional activities. The provisional activities is all the benefits. Again, the provisional activity is included in current expenses, but the request for provisional activity is $8,572,412. It's an increase of $207,746 or plus 2.5% from fiscal year 26. And again, this includes health, retirement, unemployment, vacation pay, and FICA costs for the branch. These are also calculated based off of formulas that are given to us from BFS. Next slide. Some of the branches highlights, I won't bore you. You can go ahead and read those. And then we'll go into the city council's overview. So the council request is $11,837,687. This is an increase of $95,854 or 0.8%, 0.8% from fiscal year 26. So pretty flat. Our positions remain the same. 84 FTE, which includes 4 charter commission positions. As far as salaries, our request is $8,121,204. It's an increase of $149,854 or 1.9% from fiscal year 2026. This includes the 4% increase for all exempt personnel. It doesn't reflect in the increase just because the Charter Commission staff positions is only for half a year. Our Current expense request is $3,716,483. It's a decrease of $54,000 or 1.4% from fiscal year 26. Then I'm going to go to the Office of Council Services. Their budget is pretty flat as well. The budget appropriation request for OCS is $3,536,345. This is an increase of $164,821 or 4.9% from FY26. Positions again are flat at 30. Their salary request is $3,141,345. It is an increase of $120,821 or 4%. This includes the 4% increase for all exempt personnel. For current expenses, OCS's request is $395,000. This is an increase of $44,000 or 12.5% from FY 2026. And this is mainly for the ROH supplement updates as well as increase in professional subscription costs. And then I'll take you guys' question at the end, but right now I'll turn it over to the city clerk.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Kenny, for that overview. I just want to first, Glenn Takahashi, City Clerk, I just want to recognize a few of our key staff members. With me is Chad Kadota, Departmental Staff Executive Assistant. Behind him is Rex Quidilla, our Elections Administrator. And behind, way back there in the corner trying to hide is Darcy Nago, our Council Assistance Supervisor here with me today. Our request this year, agency request, is totals $7.209 million. That breaks down to roughly $2.923 million for salaries and $4.286 for current expenses. As you will note, the city clerk's budget does fluctuate from year to year because of the elections that we will be administering in the even-numbered years. If we do a quick comparison across the comparable budget from 2 years ago, we actually have an increase of roughly $786,000 compared to that comparable budget. Most of it really comes in the areas of salaries because of collective bargaining increases, and also because we also have to keep our the amount we pay to our temporary election workers also competitive as well for doing the elections. As some of you may know, the minimum wage also increased in January of 2026, and so we're trying to keep up with that to ensure that our seats are filled and we have staff that can administer the elections. A little note on staffing. Our position count is 47 positions. That includes some of the seasonal contract hires that we use as our mid-level supervisors for elections. But excluding that, we have 6 vacancies, 4 within the council assistance section, 1 in elections for the year-round staff, and another one in the main administration. That number will increase by 2 more in the next coming months upon my departure and our secretary. I won't go over any of the accomplishments but highlights, but I'm just here for any other questions as it relates to our budget.
Thank you so much. Well, I think we'll go through everyone, and then if there's any questions from the members, and we'll have you guys come up respectively. Aloha, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair Okimoto and committee members. Troy Shimasaki, Office of the City Auditor. Our office requests for the fiscal year 2027 is just over $2.2 million. This represents an increase of about $67,501 or 3.1%. Our position count remains flat at 13 FTEs. The reasons for increase can be attributed to two areas. One is salary increases that represent about 4% for the coming fiscal year over fiscal year 2026. And current expenses increased about $11,250 or 1.5% over fiscal year 2026. And this can be attributed to software subscription increases and lease office space increases which were planned for the upcoming year. So that represents our request, and we thank you for this opportunity and look forward to your favorable consideration. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Let me see who is up next on my list. Oh, Kenny's back. Okay, thank you, Kenny, for being here. Sorry, members. We will start our round of questions. I think it was actually Vice Chair Nishimoto that starts this round. No questions. Chair Waters, Councilmember Cordero, Councilmember Tola.
Sure. I just wanted to say a big thank you to Glenn. Come on, we know that he's retiring, and I just want to say thank you for your service.
I think I didn't have any other questions either. I was going to also just thank Glenn. I wasn't sure if we were announcing it here or in, because he's here till the 1st, right? But this will be your last time before us. We're grateful to have had you, and I'm sure Chair Waters will speak more profound words, but thank you again. I think we have no questions for you, so this will be a first for any department. No more any questions. Okay. Thank you so much for being here with us, and thank you for waiting patiently. Okay, members, as another reminder, if you have any supplementary questions for the departments, please provide them to my office so we may compile them for the department or managing director's office to respond. Mahalo, everyone, for attending and participating in today's meeting, as well as all the meetings this week. Chair Waters has a quick announcement before we adjourn.
Yeah, I do. Thank you so much. I just issued this announcement a few minutes ago regarding administrative leave for non-essential staff tomorrow, Friday, March 13th, 2026. Out of abundance of caution and considering the severe weather impacting Oahu this weekend, the Honolulu City Council extends administrative leave to all non-essential staff on Friday, March 13th, 2026. Forecasts indicate continued heavy rain and thunderstorms, and conditions may remain unsafe for travel. The safety of our staff and their families comes first. All council hearings, commission meetings, and public hearings are postponed. If you're unsure of whether your role is considered essential, please check with your supervisor for confirmation. Essential personnel should report as directed by their supervisors and follow all established safety protocols. Employees who are on leave without pay or on approved leave for March 13th shall continue on leave status without any adjustments to their leave records and shall not be granted equivalent time off at a later date. For employees who have authorization and or capacity to telework during the administrative leave day, we encourage them to continue working from home in severe weather. All employees should keep abreast of the weather conditions and any future directives applicable to the legislative branch. For the most current information and official updates related to the storm, please monitor the city's Department of Emergency Management site at www.honolulu.gov/DEM/. Please take the time to stay safe, check on one another, and prepare as needed. Further updates will be shared if conditions change. And mahalo for your flexibility, continued commitment to public service. Should you have any questions in this matter, please contact Chief of Staff Duncan Osorio of Council Administrative Services at 808-768-5095 or duncan.osorio@honolulu.gov. Thank you, members.
Thank you, Chair Waters. And just prior to us adjourning, I would just like to thank for being with us this week, our OCS staff, as well as those from Clerks and all of our staffers who have been here. I know Jamie's been up here with me, but I know all of our offices have had people working behind the scenes. So thank you for having this week be a successful one. We look forward to continuing working with everyone as we go through the budget process. Please, everyone, as Chair Walker said, stay safe and get home safely. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.